Today I'm going to be talking to you about mental illnesses and stigmas around it and such. Mental illness has been around for a while, but it wasn't until more recently that people have started taking stands against the stigma surrounding mental illnesses, such as people are looking for attention or it's like the easy way out. And in 2020, a study showed that there were 132 suicides per day, and 70% of them were caused because of depression, which is one of the more common mental illnesses. The main reason I feel qualified to even begin talking about this topic is because I myself do struggle with depression and anxiety, but I've done a lot of research and found ways to help myself get better and have a healthy way of dealing with the mental illness. If you're listening to this, then you should take what I'm about to get into very seriously, because one day the information I'm giving you might not be useless, and you could potentially be saving someone you love or care deeply for by taking a couple of easy steps. Depression is a lifelong battle, and sometimes knowing someone is looking out for you makes the battle a lot easier, and seems like it's not impossible. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about discovering someone has a mental illness, a good outlet for yourself or loved one, and some things to consider if you think you might have one of the many mental illnesses. When we grow up, we all change and we all go through different problems, whether it's highs or lows, but we all could potentially have a mental illness, from depression to bipolar disorder. So we could be looking for signs of differences during the ages of 10 to 16 years old. Finding out you could have a mental illness is not easy to take in. It may seem like your world is crashing down because you could potentially be fighting a lifelong battle, but that shouldn't be the case. Schools should provide outlets or actual therapists and not just guidance counselors, because their actions are limited. It's not always the school's problem. Some schooling administration recognize the stress and emotional levels are high, so they do provide a form of therapy, but more than half of the states in America do not provide any form of therapy or counseling. It's understandable that the parents should provide for their kids, and they should be the ones who get them medicated or find a better solution for their kids, but the school are more than responsible for notifying the parents for any unusual behavior from the child in question. Most of the times, the parents don't know what they're looking for in the kid's emotional or mental well-being. Besides being medicated, what are some good alternatives for people who do struggle with mental illnesses? Personally, it's having an amazing friend group, or just someone who truly wants to help you achieve your goals. Healthy emotional support is not impossible, and it's actually easier to find than you would think. You'll go through some hard times and some good times, but those moments are where you'll see who's actually looking out for you, and those moments really define a friendship as healthy or not. There will be pain through some of these hardships, but it's a really great outlet for someone who is feeling a lot of everything. In respect to that idea, there's also a safer way of dealing with any mental illness, and that is medication. Having to make a choice of putting your kid on medications or not is a very difficult choice, especially because of the side effects. Like with mood stabilizers, you'll see a change in your kid. They'll become slow and not as enthusiastic about things. Benzodiazepines are another form of medication, but these are for anxiety. These ones help you be calm and easier to be around things that usually bring you a lot of anxiety, like large crowds and public speaking. These are both good choices. It just depends on how you feel about both methods. I've listed a couple ways to get some form of result, but what are some red flags? What are some things to look for if you think someone might be struggling with a mental illness? One broad way to notice a change is mood swings. Mood swings, by definition, mood swings can be normal and are only an indicator of underlying disease when feelings become excessive, all-consuming, and interfere with daily living, which basically means that they are just the tip of something bigger. Another indicator is smaller actions like picking at your skin or biting your jacket sleeves or nails. It will take time to come to terms with it, but once you do, it's time to talk. Take your time understanding what you are struggling with, and then you can fully understand what you need and how you want to go about your journey. In conclusion, when you have everything you need to succeed, like people and resources, nothing is impossible, and the struggle becomes less of a hassle and more of a way of living. I hope this speech helped you get a better look at the struggles of mental illness and how you could help someone who might have mental illness. I am a proud and healthy advocate of mental health, and I know that it is hard to seek help, but just know you are not in the fight alone. Knowing more about mental health will benefit both parties tremendously. Let's prevent as much negative stigma as we can and try to understand how and when is a good time to communicate your